issuing meme coin is not illegal. It can be eligible, but people don't understand their transactions. They don't understand of crypto. It is money. We are talking about money. That is why Revolut will block it, notwithstanding on the amount. But we know how to talk with Revolut. All the time you're asking me about that somebody will not survive. I am a lawyer and I'm being the CEO of my own company. I live in deadlines, all the time I live in deadlines.
Most people think that crypto law is about one thing: paperwork, licenses, long documents nobody actually reads. But honestly, the reality is totally different. It's about whether your business survives, whether your account gets blocked, whether you even apply to operate tomorrow. And today we are talking about that, the real side of crypto regulation. Hey friends, today you're watching Trustee Talks. My name is Danylo, and today's guest is someone who sees crypto through laws, regulation, and real consequences. Ganna Voievodina, a crypto lawyer and the founder of Manimama. Anna, great to have you here on Trustee Talks.
Thanks a lot. I am very happy to be here also.
Let's start with our titles. Super simple. What do you actually do day to day?
Our main business is serving for cryptocurrency projects. We are providing legal support to fintech, to Web3, to crypto exchanges, to DeFi, creating corporate structures, opening banking accounts, creating legal opinions, helping the projects to go through different compliance, including obtaining licenses and sometimes avoiding licenses when it is possible.
Okay, that's really interesting. And who do you work with more right now?
Of course, with those guys who want to obtain MiCA license, because today it is the main issue for everybody who wants to serve European clients. But at the same time, we also started to develop new markets. I call this sphere of our experience how to live beyond the MiCA. This I also. Yes, I can tell a lot about South Africa, about American regulation, because nowadays we are incorporating also companies there and helping projects to work on European markets, but without aggressive marketing. Today we are working with guys who are providing business in any crypto activities, like exchange, like brokerage, like placement of assets, trading platform. And of course, the second part, very big and important part of our business is tokenization.
You mean real world assets, right?
Any tokenization possible to support. We help clients to issue utility tokens, meme coins, security tokens, and real world asset as well. Here, I think we have a very good tracking because we have experience and profile with issuing security tokens with in European market, in US market, in Bali, Indonesia, in Montenegro, in Turkey, especially tokenizing real estate as well. So principally, I can organize another talks about tokenization if somebody is interested in this topic, and I'm proud of what we do in this direction.
And from your point, which one is harder to work with right now? REA, brokers, exchanges, or meme coins maybe?
I think that MiCA today is the most challenging sphere for everybody. Why? Because in reality, European market is trying to harmonize himself, to harmonize everything, yes, when each state is working at the same direction, but it's not really the truth, because any country has its own national risk. Every country has its own experience and its own vision. And today, lawyers and projects really face a lot of problems with communication with regulators and understanding what exactly they want. I think that tokenization is much more possible to be planned than MiCA regulation. That is why I can tell a lot about situation on the market, compare different jurisdictions if it is needed, and also explain how to work with another markets. So principally, yes, obtaining MiCA license today is really a challenge, and we see the list of those who have already managed to obtain the license, and we see very, very great and big names like Bitstamp, Coinbase. We don't see Binance there still, and this is also a mark that it is really not very easy process. We see a lot of banks, we see a lot of famous names, yeah? So this is a time for big guys who built their process before MiCA. And for middle and little business, so-called micro business, today we have hard times. But I guess that it will develop the market, it will develop our clients, and one by one, everybody will come to the market with MiCA. The question is when.
About MiCA and centralized exchanges, we'll talk a little bit later. And now a personal one. Was there ever a moment in your practice when you realized that this project can be saved anymore?
Surely no, because we have a very wide range of possibilities and opportunities on the market. That is why we always can change the way of business, and our firm doesn't give only legal advice. We have opportunity to speak and to cooperate with different models. A lot of different guys are coming to us, and we know the insights. And taking the experience of this or that project, we principally can see how another can be saved. So honestly, I don't think that regulation can kill somebody. It depends. Competitors, bad market situation, and bad developed process in business itself, yes, it can kill the business. But regulation, honestly, I don't see such situation now. But yes, it becomes harder and harder. If client cannot achieve some requirements created by local authorities in some countries, he can change jurisdictions, he can change business model, he can change geographical auditory he serves. So principally, if the founder wants to save the project, we can help him.
So can we say that you are basically the kind of lawyer who's never lost a case, right? Just you always win.
In some way, we can tell this because our main goal is to make business work in reality. If I see the opportunity to change something and to explain to the client how to do that, I do this. And we are not only lawyers. I call us also cryptons, we have our own company which provides OTC deals. And sometimes, by the way, we helped our clients when some clients came to us, they were late. Yes, they came to us and said, we didn't manage to get a new license. What to do? I could tell them that they can use our company, they can use company of our partners. I communicate some people because I see that somebody has a problem and another, my client, has the solution. So my goal is to help them to proceed, first of all. That is why, yes, I would like to call myself the lawyer who doesn't lose.
Okay, I got it. So for now, quick BLITZ to lighten the mood a bit. Just short answers, true or myth. MiCA only affects large crypto companies.
False.
If a project has no investors, regulators don't care.
False.
Decentralized means no responsibility.
For today, yes, I think it is true. It can be done like this, yes.
AML is the bank's problems, not the products.
False.
You can always change jurisdiction with no consequences.
False, but it depends.
Tax authorities find out about crypto last.
True.
If you don't touch fiat, regulation isn't a risk.
False.
It's better to do nothing about regulation than do it wrong.
False.
All right, myths out of the way. Now let's talk about what people actually face in real life. Let's imagine a situation. I'm a crypto enthusiast. I want to launch a meme token, fast, casual, just for community, for fun, no big plans. At that stage, do I really need a lawyer?
Actually, yes. First of all, if you want to do it, let's say in European Union, you need to understand that MiCA regulates tokens and it regulates it quite strictly. According to MiCA, we have three types of regulated tokens: e-money tokens, USD coin, yes. And you know that we have problems with USDT, which didn't manage to get the license.
Yep.
Asset reference tokens, tokens backed by stable price of real world assets, and other tokens, including utilities. And if we analyze the description of these other tokens, including utilities, we understand that meme coins are also covered by this regulation. What does it mean? It means that issuing meme coin is not illegal. It can be eligible, but a firm, by the way, because now individual cannot issue token. Starting from MiCA, it cannot be so.
Yeah, for sure.
So according to MiCA, only legal entity can issue token. And when I issue meme coin, and if I want to offer it on European market, I need to be clear and to explain, guys, this is meme coin. What does it mean? It means that it is not backed by any obligation. You don't have access to any services, and nothing is behind this token except your belief and faith to some person, to some process, whatever. And yes, this token can be zero one day if market situation will be like this. But if you understand the risk, yes, you can speculate, you can earn money, but you understand the risk. The token is not backed by anything. And MiCA principally gives you opportunity to do so. But you need to be very clear. Yes, this is meme coin, and you need to explain to the user what does it mean.
The key question: at what point does it stop being just fun and turn into regulatory or even criminal risk? You might remember the Libra meme token story when Argentina's president Javier Milei shared the contract address and link to the project on Twitter, saying it would help economic development, startups, and after that just token pumped from zero, and later it turned out to be a classic rag pull. In conclusion, Milei deleted the post and distanced himself from the project, but people lost money, and it's unclear who was held accountable. That's the frustrating part, you know?
In reality, that is the main goal of MiCA, to describe in detail when it starts. It starts from the first offer on the market, but it means that somebody is coming and telling, I propose this token for the purchase. But at the same time, you need to understand that MiCA regulates a new field which was not regulated before. It is called consulting in cryptocurrency. What does it mean? It means that now you cannot avoid responsibility if you can influence and create some important impact on the market, just telling, buy Dogecoin. It is possible to be punished according to MiCA if you use your authority, your reputation, and tell people to buy this or that token. This is the purpose of MiCA. For today, we don't have still examples of punishing such people. We have a regulation which came into force in 2024, and people and projects who cover European market became much more, let's say, obedient. Again, we will have such process in US in the nearest future. Maybe our auditory needs to know that US is preparing a very important legal act, which is called Digital Clarity Act. It was the task of President Trump, who told that it is time to make the clear regulation of tokens in US. And his task was not to kill the market. He said, Europe will kill the market, we will welcome everybody. And he said that the main, why it is called digital clarity, it is because he wanted to separate and to make it not so wide, the perimeter of regulation of SEC, first of all, because SEC always thinks that this is his, field of regulation, and Commission for Futures. So according to this act, they explain different types of token, including NFTs, including utility tokens, and they divide the regulation, explaining that SEC can come to the project only if it has the features of investment security, instrument of capital. So they want to do it easier for market. But at the same time, everybody was waiting for this law, and it was adopted by Congress, and now it is in Senate. But Coinbase asked to withdraw the law 2 days ago, if I'm not mistaken, because they told that this regulation will kill the American market. So now they are trying to get it back. This is principally a very important example, because in US, business always had official right to lobby its interests. It's not possible in Europe. I never heard that some big exchange came to the authority and tell, no, we don't want this law be in place. So meaning what I'm talking about? I'm talking that we are coming to a great regulation of advising to buy some tokens, because we see that people can lose a lot of money after some pump and then dump.
If you're talking about regulation, from your perspective as a lawyer, when did it become clear that crypto is no longer in a gray zone?
It depends on what market we are talking about. In America, crypto came to in a white zone, starting from 2014, because America was very fast. America didn't lose time. In 2014, they told, crypto is money. So we are regulating it like...
faster than Europe.
Yeah, and they didn't wait. They decided just to regulate it. In Europe, we had a lot of years of non-regulation, and it was a very cool time, let's say. But now it's not in a gray zone. And I think that very few countries in the world, in reality, still have no regulation. So this is the time of regulation of crypto, and it means that everybody accepted it as a real asset, which is the part of financial system. And I think less people in the world can tell crypto is a bubble. Crypto is not a bubble.
Answer me, is it fair to say that operating outside regulation today is no longer freedom, but really serious risk?
Yes, it is of course possible, and a lot of people will still try to work like this. And yes, it will create risks. It will create risks, first of all, in developed, civilized, and regulated markets. We have a lot of examples of guys who are in prison, for anti-money laundering, breaking, for everything. And it means that a big global regulator is searching for them. But principally, yes, it is still possible. And I think that those who know how to do it still can do it.
Let's talk about who gets hit the hardest by these changes. You've been involved in professional and expert discussions around virtual assets legislation. I think that's a really crazy experience, and I really want to unpack it. What does the lawmaking process actually look like from the inside? Because people always imagine serious guys in suits behind closed doors. Is it really like that, or is the atmosphere more normal or informal?
It depends. It depends on traditions of lawmaking, let's say. So if you are talking about making the laws, like legislation process, in Ukraine, it always was quite open for us, for cryptons. Yes, me and a lot of market players, we were always connected and joined to that process. We were participants of the law of legislation process. In Europe and in America, I think it is quite the same. It depends on the level of development of market. I know exactly, for example, when I was chief legal officer of cryptocurrency exchange Kuna, we even took part in talks about, let's say, talk with other lawyers who were participants or in legislative process of San Marino regulation. And we even gave some advices around tokenization. So principally, I think everything becomes more smart casual, let's say.
Okay.
Legislative process and all business became really more open, because regulators in many countries, Philippines, United Arabian Emirates, I had a lot of requests, are ready to work with business because, first of all, they want somebody to work, honestly. Business always is ready to work. And because they really want to create some competitive market.
Why does it often happen that a law exists on paper, but the market still can't function properly?
First of all, now nobody wants changes. Not nobody, but a big number of us doesn't want changes. Execution of law, it is quite a hard process. I usually ask people who are coming and telling, we want a MiCA license. And I'm trying to analyze profile of client and trying to explain what exactly is waiting for him. He needs to understand the consequences of being licensed and regulated. It's not such an easy process because can you imagine? I am a lawyer. I understand how to do a lot of things. But at the same time, being the founder of my own company, I need to be employment, marketing, sales, and different things. And when you do business, now you need to create a lot of different and extra things which are regulated. And sometimes you even don't understand why and how to do that. It is quite a difficult process. That is why to work properly is a great job for a big team of a company. And of course, nothing can be held properly. So this is a process to to develop yourself and to create processes which are compliant with law. It's not a simple task.
Where does it usually break? I mean, the idea maybe, or the wording, or the implementation?
On every step, I think,
Okay.
especially on the step of creation.
Let's talk about MiCA. There is a common idea that regulation isn't necessarily an enemy, but more of a filter. So now we have MiCA. Who does MiCA filter out first?
Let's start with goals which were declared like goals of MiCA. The goals of MiCA are the following: harmonizing legislation, meaning unifying legislation, and second, defending of the interest of investors and clients. So principally, these are two goals of MiCA. If you talk about second mission, to help investors to be defended, yes, it is good because MiCA obliges CASPs, crypto asset service providers, to implement a lot of official procedures like handling of complaints, defending and safeguarding of clients' funds, and so on and so forth. This is good, yes, because now a person can invest money and understand nothing will happen like it was with FTX. This was the purpose of MiCA. But at on the second level, it integrates and creates very difficult conditions for business. And of course, it will be a great filter because not a lot of business can face that challenge. And we need to understand that according to MiCA, the participant of the market, when he applies for the license, he needs to create such documents like business continuity policy. It means that he has to prove that he is possible to survive. And it's not an easy task because this is not a variant for startup who is just testing the system. So that is why it is a filter.
Who is in the highest risk zone right now? Like, for example, a classic exchange office in Poland, because I'm in Poland, is that a risk area?
Yes, because starting from 1st July 2026, if this business is not a CASP, it has to close the door. We understand that classic exchange, we are talking about Cantor, which accepts and gives possibility to exchange crypto.
Right.
Yes. So these guys have to apply and receive the license of the second class, which is called exchange crypto to crypto, crypto to fiat. Now they are working like virtual asset service providers. It is quite simple. But when the transitional period ends, and it will be in July 2026, if they are not licensed, they have to close their doors. Otherwise, they will get a very serious penalty, which will be put on them by the national regulator, and this is KNF in Poland.
From WASP, they need to go to CASP, right?
Yes.
And your thoughts, what's the biggest mistake companies make when they think this doesn't apply to us or it's too early to prepare?
It's not a mistake. I think it is position of business. When it was really simple, a lot of us created WASPs, but now it will cost. Yes, it will cost a lot. It will cost money. It will cost human resources. It will cost high risks and any different additional tools which are needed. And I know that many businessmen decided that they will wait and see what is going on the market. Sometimes it's not a bad case, and it's not the worst solution to step back in one step and then to come back. So it's not, I don't think that it is the mistake, it is the position. But answering your question, I can tell that yes, during last year, a lot of people at the beginning, especially of 2025, everybody thought that we have so much time. But no, I am a lawyer and I'm being the CEO of my own company. I live in deadlines, all the time I live in deadline of months, of week, and the time it runs so fast. I was explaining to my clients, dear guys, if you want to apply for MiCA, you are late, not early, because months are running very fast. So a lot of projects will disappear. But what I see today is that it is a time of consolidation and partnership. A lot of projects which I know, they began to create joint ventures with other partners because they understood that together they have more chances to get MiCA because they will have better project, better technical infrastructure, and of course they will have more clients because they can combine the base. So principally, I see a lot of variants of surviving. And of course, especially Ukrainian projects are creating all the time some variants to survive. Why? Maybe because I think I can tell that I am proud of Ukrainian crypto community because because it really exists. Yes, I can come when the war began and a lot of people stayed in Ukraine. Some of them left Ukraine. But if you are connected to crypto, you can come to any city in Europe, in Asia, in United Arabian Emirates, and you can always find those guys with whom you were in Kiev. You can really create something. So principally, I think this MiCA became like a great push, which created the necessity to consolidate the market because Bitstamp is a great exchange, but little projects have to be together. And I see that now it is the time when they are joining to each other.
If you guys think that it's already too late to do something, just take a deep breath, call to Anna, and she will assist you. The next topic is just as interesting. I want to talk about AML and blocks, because for a lot of people, this is the scariest part of crypto. Everyone has heard stories like this. A deposit comes in, money from gambling, casinos, mixers, and suddenly the account is frozen. In crypto, block often happen instantly without long warnings or explanation, unlike in traditional business. So why does the system in crypto react so fast and so aggressively? What is this actually connected to?
First of all, I can tell that there are a lot of crimes on the crypto markets. It is really so. A lot of frauds, a lot of losses, a lot of loss, sorry, a lot of criminals who are trying to take your money. A lot of crypto, it is money. We are talking about money. That is why we have a lot of crimes there, and it is really so. This is the first issue. And that is why anti-money laundering process is trying to control everything. This is the first way. Secondly, taking into account a big number of transactions, it is always hard to analyze it manually and to use that very famous risk-based approach. That is why banks, cryptocurrency exchange, big guys, let's say, they are using automated solutions and they just block everything what is coming under some trigger, yeah? Starting from MiCA, we have travel rule obligation. This is very, let's say, complicated process. I call it crypto SWIFT, meaning that now everybody needs to disclose the ultimate beneficial owner of any transaction. If I do, of course, if you come to Binance now and you receive deposit from some, let's say, wallet they don't know, if it's not the part of global exchange like Kraken, like Coinbase, it can be some Telegram bot, and you make the deposit on Binance. What you will receive? You will receive the pending transaction and a lot of questions about, please confirm it is your wallet. Please confirm if it is CEX or DEX and so on and so forth. So they gather a lot of information, and if you don't provide necessary data, they block you. This is a global process, and yes, freedom of crypto is in past. I would tell that starting from January, Bitstamp made the ban for transactions from non-custodial wallets, which are more than 1,000 euro. So I cannot accept money from you if they are more than 1,000 euro and it is non-custodial wallet. This is very bad. So it means that some CEX has to be the first, because we have people have a lot of money on non-custodial wallets, and they are trying one by one to control everything and to avoid communication with anything what can be connected to crimes or non-controlled transactions.
And all of this because nobody wants to lose their license or get in trouble.
Nobody wants problems. And but we need to understand, when you are big and so, let's say, outstanding, like Bitstamp, you can do anything because you have a lot of clients, you have a lot of institutionals, you can throw that guys. But it is a very big problem for little guys who have no clients, who cannot afford to reject everybody in reality, but they have to. And of course, it can create a very negative impact on their business.
Explain me, please, what does AML really protect? The business, the user, or the regulator?
Of course, the first is regulator, because control, all anti-money laundering laws, they are about what? About combating with terrorism, about combating with financial crimes, and combating with avoidance of taxation. All these three things are the interests of the government, because this is a public interest, so-called. And yes, after that, all these, let's say, cases are connected with possible crimes. Possible crimes is always the field of interest of the government. This is a public law, so-called. And this is the first issue. The second issue, when we are talking about business, I mean so-called obliged entity, meaning those who are obliged to control AML and to integrate AML. Crypto exchanges, banks, brokers, insurance company, everybody who held third-party funds. All these guys are obliged entities under AML regulation. Their problem is the following: if they don't do it, they get penalty or prison. So this is from the point of public interest. They are the instruments in the hands of the government and financial police and Interpol and all these guys who are on the side of the state to control the transactions. They are in reality their police, let's say. And if they don't behave accordingly, they have problems.
So what's the minimum AML setup a crypto project needs so it doesn't get killed at launch, for example, or during its first stage of scaling?
Customer due diligence, so-called CDD, meaning KYC, KYB, of course. But it is just the beginning. Yes, you need to know your client. This is quite simple. Secondly, monitoring of transactions, because you need to analyze what is going on. And you need to include rules of seeing and so-called suspicious transactions. You need to stop them, block them, analyze them and do something with them. Sometimes you report to your IML regulating authority. Sometimes you report to police. Sometimes you just limit user in some transactions because he's under monitoring. Then it is, of course, compliance function, meaning that you need some team, which is called, when we are talking about IML, we are talking about so-called 3 lines of defense. First line, it is supporting KYC, those who are doing operational work. Let's imagine we have such a important and famous for our market project, Trustee Plus. They have a lot of guys who check transactions at the beginning. Those guys who, this is the first line of defense. They are communicating with users, they are checking transactions, they are answering their question, and so on. And then we have the second line. Second line, it is compliance, and it is a compliance function where somebody is standing above them and they report to them if they have some specific issues, some risky matters, and so on. And this line is also creating so-called reporting, because reporting inside and outside. And also each company has short line. Short line, it is the highest level of normal IML department in such project. We are talking about internal audit function and highest management board of members, meaning that somebody has to be in place independent, and he needs from time to time to check what those guys did before. So IML function, it is all the time one people control users and other people control these people.
Okay, so three barriers here we have there. Okay. From the user side, what are the most common actions or mistakes that usually lead to IML blocks?
People don't understand their transactions. They don't understand the connection between information they are given and the consequences it may lead. For example, the simplest example, we provide OTC deals, yes? The client is coming to us. We are supporting big transactions, like starting from 100,000. And he says, what we have to do? According to European legislation, honestly, there is no amount which is given by the law, and they tell, starting from this amount, I need to ask proof of funds. For instance, the law tells that I do checks which I guess are relevant and applicable according to the practice and so on and so forth to this situation. So, of course, when a client is coming and he wants to make transaction on a big amount of money, I do some checking according to my understanding and to practice of my company. And they tell, oh, please don't make withdrawal of all amount of money, otherwise Revolut will block it. I say, dear friend, Revolut will block it, notwithstanding on the amount. But we know how to talk with Revolut. People don't understand. In reality, sometimes they cannot explain their transaction, and the absence of this understanding leads them to the problems in reality. A lot of guys really do legal things, but they cannot explain this. And sometimes they give absolutely unbelievably stupid information to exchange and like digs their, themselves in the problem.
Could you get for our viewers basic tips or, for example, life hacks that help people avoid AML issues, but without breaking the rules?
First of all, you need to understand that each obliged entity is always happy when you communicate and cooperate. From the point of view of users, he needs to understand that on that side, a lot of processes are built. And if you give more information from the beginning, normal information, it will help you to communicate with exchanges. Honestly, I know that people have a lot of problems with blocking on Kraken, on Binance, and so on. But one of our field of work is helping to unblock money. And sometimes people are coming to us and they tell, I don't know, a lot of funds is frozen there. And we decide, we begin to analyze, And we see very simple mistakes which could be avoided. So principally, you need to be very clear in your position. You need to give normally basic information about yourself and about your transaction. And sometimes, honestly, we all have ChatGPT. If you don't have a lawyer, just try to ask ChatGPT, what is going on? Do I have problems? Do I break IML laws? Because people cannot know it. Nobody reads terms of use. This is understood. And then they have problems. So I would, yes, I would take it into account that MiCA obliges all the crypto projects which are going to become CASPs to disclose a lot of information on their websites, including complaints handling procedures, whistleblowing, when you can come and tell everything what you know. I would recommend, before joining any service and creating account there, please take terms of use, at least put them to the chat GPT and ask him, guy, what I can break? Because when you register your account, you accept terms of use, but nobody reads terms of use. This is the main problem of our users.
I think it's very useful tips for our auditory. For most people, AML feels like feel abstract until it suddenly, of course, touch their own money. So now a topic that keeping a lot of people nervous right now: CRS and DAC8. In simple terms, what are CRS and DAC8? Why were they introduced?
CRS existed for many, many years in the global world. It was the topic of previous 2 years in our community because Ukraine has joined Common Reporting Standard System. It means that at the end of the year, if in a simple words, each banking institution, brokerage institution, all entities who held third-party funds need to inform its own tax authority about the balances and transactions on it, about the final closing balance, about big transaction, and so on. Of course, they inform its own tax authority about its residents, and also, principally, they just disclose information about everybody. And I am a citizen of Ukraine, but I can be tax resident, I don't know, of Spain. And if I have a banking account in Belgium, it means that Belgium banking institution will inform Belgium tax authority about my funds, and Belgium tax authority automatically will share this information with Spain if I am a tax resident of Spain, because this is a global agreement to avoid tax avoidance and tax optimization, so-called. The governments created automated exchange system, and each country, one by one, joined to it. According to new regulation in crypto, they are joining cryptocurrency exchanges to this system. Meaning, and America, US, they always did it. They did it in past. Coinbase, Bitstamp, and different Kraken, those companies who were licensed in US, Bitfinex, by the way, they already shared information to the IRS, Internal Revenue Agency of US, about the funds of their residents. So now I'm not now too much sophisticated and experienced to explain how exactly it will work, because it is quite a new system starting from this year. But the main issue is that they will be obliged to inform about balances of cryptocurrency custodian wallets. And this is a problem, let's say.
You now explain the CRS, right? Or DAC8?
Firstly, I explained CRS, but DAC8, it is
It's
a
the
new
same, but for
obligation
crypto.
to something like that. We can
Okay.
tell that. Yes.
What does it really mean to be a tax agent under DAC8? What are they doing? The same as, for example, a Belgium bank to Spain? I mean, reporting.
They will inform their tax authority about balances. Yes, about crypto balances. This what they are going to do.
Okay, so reports the platform, not the user, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The platform is obliged to report.
Okay.
The user is obliged to report fundamentally, let's say, but they understand that not nobody, but a little number of users will do it. That is why they created the tool according to which they will oblige those who have this information.
Let's talk a little bit later about it, okay? Because I have the blog about it. People who are active in crypto, like Kryptony, crypto guys, may have noticed that centralized exchanges are under the most pressure right now. Why is this so?
They are seen to the government. Government can see them, and that is why they can do something they want, just like this.
What does the future look like for decentralized exchange? Will they be regulated in any way?
Nobody understands how to regulate them nowadays. Currently, DeFi is completely officially out of perimeter of regulation of MiCA because DeFi technically, principally cannot block your funds because they are non-custodial. This is understood. And this is understood by government. That is why they avoided regulation of DeFi, let's say, for today. Someday, of course, when they found the method to control transactions on DeFi, of course they will regulate DeFi.
Government can come to the Uniswap, for example, and said, guys, if you want to work here, give us the information or something like that. Could it be or not?
It is a fantasy because DeFi is not regulated. So I think it is like a fairy tale to talk about it. Sometimes, yes, they will regulate them. How? They will find the way. But for today, their main task is just to join centralized exchanges, at least to common reporting standard system.
To be clear, yeah, all of this stuff is not about avoiding taxes, right? Taxes should always be paid. Okay, this is about understanding the rules, so there are no unpleasant surprise later. Now let's bring this down to real life. Imagine the situation. I'm a crypto guy, or I do arbitrage, for example. I make money in crypto. Where do I even start if I want to pay taxes properly? Who do I go to first? A tax office? An accountant, a lawyer?
To accountant, of course. To accountant, firstly, maybe to a lawyer. To explain the situation, lawyer will... Because in Europe, for instance, and in America, we know that there is no tax advice given by accountant. Accountant don't give tax advice. They just take your money and begin to count them. This is the way how they do. So if you want to talk with somebody and understand how exactly to do that, you need to go to the lawyer. Then when you create your strategy, yes, you go to accountant who create your tax declaration and he submits that declaration to a tax authority. This is how it is done.
And what kind of proof do I usually need? For example, maybe transaction history, exchange reports, wallet statements.
If you're a business, it is everything regulated, and this is quite clear. You just give all statements from your account, internal accounting system, and the accountant counts your profit from exchange operations. If you are normal business or just an ordinary person who invests in crypto, yes, you need to provide to your accountant proofs of how you generated that profit, that you bought something with this price and sold with this price. And accountant will include that information in your tax declaration.
From your point, what's the most common mistakes people make when they try to legalize their crypto income for the first time?
I think they have traditional mistakes person is doing when he submits tax declaration. I don't think that there is some specific type of, pack of mistakes when we are connected to crypto, honestly.
The main question, how do I know that I've done enough so no one can come back with questions a year or two later?
Just take a professional accountant and do everything in proper. If you want to declare your crypto incomes, you need to avoid misunderstanding. If you are ready and you can really explain everything, yes, do that. Of course, sometimes tax authority can come back if they want. It depends. In major cases, they are coming because you are not showing something and they found it. it can be like that.
Because most fear around crypto taxes isn't about paying them. It's about not understanding how the process actually works in real life, I think.
Yeah, this is quite true. In reality, people, as I have told you before, I don't think there is some specific with crypto. People in reality are not those who have no good experience in tax declaring, who doesn't go accountant, and who is not the professional in this process. They make mistakes declaring many assets. So of course, if you do that in a new state, especially like in, for instance, you are from Ukraine or from Spain, it doesn't matter, and you do something for the first time, of course, it is better not to do it alone.
Let's look a bit ahead. What will crypto businesses look like in the next 3 to 5 years?
We will see a lot of many new projects with a lot of new business models, a lot of new projects, a lot of new ideas on the market, a lot of new markets even, which we can't even imagine for today. This is the first issue, and this is the most important and the most joyful in crypto, because as I always tell to my partner, crypto, it is only the way in future. Yes. Secondly, we will have a lot of new market players because a lot of money will be invested in crypto. I think we now see that institutional players, of course, invest in these projects. Secondly, I think a lot of business will be connected to crypto, and I think that people who want to be engaged in that business will recover and understand how regulation works. And I think that they don't kill that business. Of course, we can think negatively that only big players will be on the market, but I don't want to think so.
And in your opinion, who is not going to survive this period? Which kind of services maybe?
All the time you're asking me about that somebody will not survive. This is the process of evolution. I am not so experienced in future that somebody will not survive. It depends on the, let's say, request of the market. I don't think that regulation, of course, it is a problem. And of course, a lot of people will tell you that regulation will kill the market. Yes, it will negatively influence on big part of the market. But the reason of death of business can be any. The market can just be tired of something, like ICO came to the past. I don't know. NFTs are not so popular like they were. Meme coins have their time. But I think that everything will recover, and all the time we will see new and new models.
What should businesses start doing today to stay in the game? Get the MiCA license, be flexible?
They need to understand, they need to come to the law firm like us, explain what they are doing if we are talking about legal situation, because legal part of business is not the only what has to be prepared for the future, because supporting of business, technical infrastructure, sales team, marketing team at the same level of importance. But of course, if legal part is done improperly, the business can even not proceed for some time. Come to the law firm for just ordinary assessment of your case, and then we will together understand what you need. It's not only MiCA.
Last one. What's one piece of advice you would give a crypto founder today? Something that might want to hear, but that could realistically save their businesses.
Start preparing your own finance to show it to the banks and regulating authorities. We face a lot of problems with businessmen who are ready to invest to business, but they don't have enough money, enough of safe and legal money to show it and to invest. This is the first issue. You need to think about your financial background, about your overall background, because regulating authority are analyzing everything: education, qualification, money, reputation, criminal records. Ultimate beneficial owners are the first guys they look at. If they don't pass through initial control, they don't even analyze the business. They want to see who is behind. UBOs and founders have to prepare themselves, first of all, and then When they do this, it will be much more easier to create a normal system which can go through governmental control, something like that.
Thank you for a very honest and practical conversation. It was really a pleasure to me. Thank you so much.
You are always welcome. And I'm very happy to be here. Thanks a lot.
Friends, this was a Trustee Talks, a podcast about finances, businesses without illusions. So make sure that you are subscribed, hit the like button. I will see you very, very soon. Take care and take care of your finances.